Attention, Texas Bar Association! You are under occupation for grand larceny, fraud, and conspiring against the American people. Come out with your hands up. I repeat, you are under occupation. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you do or say can and will be used against you in a court of the American people. You have the right to be represented by a pig. If you cannot afford a pig, then one will be appointed for you. In January, the organization Move to Amend started a movement to occupy the court. Spokesperson for Move to Amend, David Cobb, addressed the issue of court-made doctrines created to protect corporations. Cobb said that the organization was occupying the courts because the courts are the scene of the crime. What most people don't understand or realize is that judges and lawyers are controlled by bar associations. Courts don't have standing armies. They rely on bar associations to give them legitimacy. Specifically, bar associations give legitimacy to the legal profession by limiting it to an elitist gentleman's club. The public thinks that lawyers and judges are smart because they graduate from law schools and pass the bar exam. This is what gives the appearance of legitimacy to court-created doctrines such as corporate personhood. The general public thinks, who am I to question someone who graduated from law school and passed the bar exam? Bar exams are not designed to assess one's competency to practice law. Bar exams are designed to test one's ability to think like a lawyer. To think like a lawyer means to defend economic inequality and court-created doctrines such as corporate personhood. There is no way to fake the phone. Either you believe in these doctrines or you don't. If you don't believe in these doctrines wholeheartedly, you will not pass the bar exam. Therefore, you will not be licensed to practice law. Bar exams are a good way of weeding out troublemakers. They do not want lawyers challenging the system. Most lawyers went to law school for the wrong reasons. These filthy pigs do not go to law school to stand up for social change. Most of them went to law school for money and prestige. Lawyers overall are well-trained corporate fodder. They do not challenge the system, nor do they have a moral compass. It doesn't matter whether the law is unjust or immoral. Attorneys have been programmed to follow the law. This makes lawyers the greatest threat to democracy. Attorneys offer their services to the highest bidder. Since corporations and wealthy are able to pay top dollar for the best legal services, the legal system is undeniably skewed in their favor. Charles Hamilton Houston once said, a lawyer is either a social engineer or a parasite. Unfortunately, most lawyers fall in the latter category. A great deal of America's legal doctrines did not originate in America. In fact, many court doctrines are sold from the International Bar Association to the American Bar Association as intellectual property and then filtered down to state bar associations. This book is called 101 Ways to Deprive Citizens of Their Constitutional Rights. Most attorneys do not even know the purpose for these doctrines, nor do they care. They follow them slavishly, without question or thought. The typical attorney, brainwashed by law schools, thinks that the Constitution is whatever judges say it is, rather than what the Constitution actually says it is. The reality is that no law is valid unless it comes from the American people. Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8 of the U.S. Constitution states, no title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office or profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept any present emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. The term bar stands for British Accredited Registry or British Accredited Regency. When American lawyers receive their law licenses, they are not being given permission to practice American law. They are being given permission to practice British law. That is the reason that lawyers are called attorneys at law instead of attorneys of law. Lawyers practice law as outsiders of the legal system. The American Bar Association is a member organization of the International Bar Association. The International Bar Association is based in London. Its stated purpose is to promote, protect, and enforce human rights under a just rule of law and to preserve the independence of the judiciary and the legal profession worldwide. In reality, the goal of the IBA is to control world governments through their legal system. The IBA is comprised of 16,000 individual lawyers and 180 bar associations and law societies. The International Bar Association influences the development of international law reform and shapes the future of the legal profession. Its member organizations cover all continents and include the American Bar Association, the German Federal Bar, the Japan Federation of Bar Associations, the Law Society of Zimbabwe, and the Mexican Bar Association. So here's how it works. The International Bar Association controls the American Bar Association. The American Bar Association controls the federal courts as well as the state bar associations. The state bar associations control the state judiciaries, and the state judiciaries control licensed attorneys. According to the state constitution, the legal profession is governed by the state judiciary. However, courts have delegated this responsibility to bar associations. In other words, the same judges who make the rules decide whether they are valid. Rulemaking is supposed to be a legislative function. Courts have no power to create public policy unless there is an issue or controversy presented. This basically means that the only way courts can create law is by having parties file lawsuits. In resolving those lawsuits, courts set precedent which have the same effect as law. Courts can't create law out of thin air. By leaving the supervision of the legal profession in the hands of the judiciary, state bar associations bypass the legislative process. Bar associations create policies which have the same effect as law without giving any notice or opportunity to comment. There is no public accountability. The license to practice law is the only license in America which isn't issued by the state. The judiciary has become a rubber stamp for policy recommendations made by the American Bar Association as well as state bar associations. The IBA is an unelected special interest group. The influence which the ABA exerts over the judiciary is undemocratic. Keep in mind that bar associations are not governmental bodies. They are corporations. The American Bar Association has maintained that the purpose of the licensing requirement is to ensure legal competency and not to eliminate competition. However, its own task force found that bar exams do not measure fundamental lawyering skills such as problem solving, factual investigation, and counseling. In the real world, no attorney is required to cite the law precisely without the benefit of consulting with its written notes. Nor does any courtroom require attorneys to answer 400 multiple choice questions or 8 essay questions. There is absolutely no correlation between a bar exam and one's ability to practice law. After 3 years of rigorous legal training, bar associations require law graduates to give their legal opinions in order to determine whether those opinions are valid. This is censorship. Associate bar exams are viewed by the testing industry with profits from ripping off those who wish to practice law. There are currently over 88,000 claims alleging that Bar Breeze violated federal antitrust law by agreeing with Kaplan to prevent competition in the market for bar review courses. Attorneys through bar associations are doing everything they can to protect their monopoly on the practice of law. This self-serving franchise deprives millions of citizens of the right to contract with the counsel of their own choosing. Instead, citizens are forced to accept attorney-promoted regulations created for the purpose of price fixing.